Okay, forget everything you've ever heard about vision boards and 10-year plans. Here's why they almost never work out for new founders. And it may be an unpopular opinion, but a 5 or 10-year business plan are a waste of your time and they could actually kill your momentum, especially if you're a new founder. Now, here's why your next 90 days matters way more than your next 5 years. Let's get into it. Okay, so 90-day outcomes, right? You've all been told how, as a business owner, you've got to set these like insane, 5, 10 year plans, which is nuts. And if you went to school, college, and had to create a whole business plan, which I've actually done, and it was it was like a 5+ year plan. There's no way that you can have some idea. But it's all it's going to be is an idea. It should not be a set in stone plan because let me tell you, as I mentioned before, I have had numerous years of, and those books back there, those were certain plans that I had for years down the road. And I hold on to just those because uh, I like to look back and just to kind of check myself and see how far off was I really. And in most cases, not too far off, but there have been many ideas that have occurred just in such a short period of time. I just had a brand new idea just yesterday, actually, and it's now going to be part of my Q3 launch plan. So, why 90 days? 90 days is something we don't need to get overwhelmed with. It's very simple. And there's a few things that I use. One of the things is clarity, okay? You want to define specific, measurable, achievable goals that you can accomplish in just 90 days. Now, that's 3 months. Whether you start this quarter coming up or beginning of the year, or if you're right in the middle of a quarter, it doesn't matter. You can still track what is 90 days from that date and just use that period of time. The reason why you want to make sure that they're specific and they're measurable is because you can't just say, I'm going to rebuild my website. That's just way too vague. What is it supposed to accomplish? What is the thing that is measurable? Is it, and how long is it going to take? Are you going to have a team that's going to help you? So a lot of that is in part the planning. And also, I would also go back to if you did decide, hey, I'm going to redesign my website. Why are we doing that? Why is there, what's the purpose for that? Now, I did that last year in the summer because the specific goal was I was shifting my services and I was aligning it to a different specific set of services that I wanted to offer. So I needed to realign certain things. And with that, I also replatformed. So I also left WordPress and went on to Kajabi. And it's just so much more efficient from a maintenance standpoint, a lot easier. So I had a lot of reasons. So I wanted it done before the end of the summer. So I had set those goals. So again, these are things that you want to accomplish in a 90-day period. Number two, focus. Okay. So first is clarity. Next, you need focus. You just need a limited number of these specific goals that you want to accomplish so that it's not hard for you to focus in on whatever that specific goal is. If you got 30 goals, it is going to be nearly impossible unless you want to achieve something. If you break it down by, let's say, 10 goals a month, that still is a lot. But okay, even if you did that, it's still very difficult to really kind of focus in on getting that thing done. So what I have done before is created 3 big rocks. And the 3 big rocks could be anything that I can look at as over that course of 90 days. So that one big rock in that example was a website redesign. Another big rock could be you want to start a podcast. Again, you have to understand the resources involved. You could get it done in 2 or 3 weeks, and then you've completed your goal. Or you can expect it's going to take a little longer. You need to have a content built up, a development of content, topic ideas, things you want to talk about. What podcast platform do you want to use? Do you want to interview somebody? Who is your ideal consumer for those podcast episodes? So all of that takes time to brainstorm and get out. It isn't to say you can't do it in a few weeks. Certainly you could, but just ease up on yourself, give yourself a break, and then maybe make that a 90-day goal, because then you're also going to have promotion in there as well. So there's just a lot more to it. And when it comes to project management, the other thing is people will often underestimate the bandwidth or the time needed and want to put way more on their plate. So that's why we need to have focus. Then you need an action plan. Now, an action plan is critically important. You want to break each of those. You take that goal. Now, that one goal, and again, if we go back to creating a podcast, that goal is going to be achievable when we break it up into mini tasks. You sort of chunk it out. And then, so it could be pick a podcast platform. You should be the owner maybe of that, unless you have somebody technical on your team. You want to have them be the owner. You want to understand what your content schedule should be. So you want to maybe make that, another task. There's all these tasks. Think through all of them so that you can get them all listed out. I love using ClickUp for my project management. Whatever my project is, I load up all the tasks in there, and then I assign an owner. If it's me or a VA or somebody else, but it all's an owner and it has a delivery date. So it's got to be organized that way because, hey, I'm keeping things to a 90-day cycle. So that's why having project management software like as simple as ClickUp is a huge help. And then I'll also create a standard operating procedure or an SOP, and that I use Guru. And I'll put these in the show notes below, but these are some of my favorite resources. But I will use Guru to create an SOP. And so that lives inside my ClickUp task so that if I have a team member or a VA who's going in there, they can see the exact step-by-step tasks. So that way we're not reinventing the wheel. They're not having to schedule a meeting with me and say, ask me, how do I want this done? Or what should they use? It's all there. So that's why having it all organized in that action plan, using whether you use ClickUp or Trello or Basecamp, it doesn't matter. Just pick a software and then use it. Even if you used, just a Google Sheet, frankly, that would work too. It's just a little bit more of a manual effort, but hey, it does, and it can absolutely work. You just put the columns in, who's the owner, put a link to your SOP, and be very specific with what needs to be accomplished and when. Accountability, we cannot forget how important accountability is, not only to yourself, which hopefully you are accountable to yourself. It's extremely difficult to be in a business and not hold yourself accountable. So make sure you're accountable. You want to track your progress. And I have a sheet that I will probably, if I don't share it with you, I will probably just throw in a quick video just kind of showing you what this looks like, because I think it's really cool. So I'll pop a video in here, walk you through what I do. I've been using this for years and it's been awesome. So definitely that. All right, so now we're over at my desk, and what I want to do is show you some of the templates that I've used. This one was one in the past where we had a 90-day goal, and one of them was social media, kind of a broad topic, yes, but here we decided what the goal was, what the metric was, and status. Now, what I should have done was added in a column that had the owner, so that specific VA. Then again, grouping it in, chunking it into, this is the goal, it is, and the email inbox could have been a little bit more specific, like organize or manage the email, and then the goals and the metrics and the status. And online membership community and the goals, the metrics, the status, etc. Right? So these were separate tasks that I had a specific VA working with over the course of like 8 weeks. And so what we did was we built this up. The other thing I wanted to show you, this is sort of 2025. So this is workbook, and I've got everything here. I've got a quarterly, I've got the monthly expenses that you should always have at the back of your hand. Also, this is where this is just broken down quarterly. I have made a copy of this and reused it for at least 4 years, if not 5 years or so. Definitely, this is a huge help because it just kind of organizes what you're doing. And when you're doing your end of year review, which I highly recommend too, it helps you see exactly, what's going on. Then also monthly. So you've got the annual, the monthly expenses, quarterly, and probably this even just annual, quarterly, monthly. And then I get down to weekly. I go, which week am I at? What's the outcome? Where is I have a sales scorecard if there's an event going on. So it's all listed in that way. And of course, a daily schedule. This is very sort of flexible, but where I've decided there are certain days I'm not going to have meetings or the non-negotiables, those kinds of things there. And finally, celebrate. Make sure you celebrate any wins you have. You go through that 90 days, and if all you did was set up your podcast, you've launched it, that's a huge thing. If you got your first client or you decided to launch a course, whatever that is, just celebrate it. But what you should do, and it's actually in one of those books back there, that says, what are you going to do to celebrate the win? And so I do like that because it reminds you that you need to really congratulate yourself. This is one thing that you've got to do. Celebrate yourself, congratulate yourself, but set your goals in 90-day increments. Again, clarity, have focus, have an action plan. Accountability is very, very important. And make sure you celebrate. And with that, I wish you the best. Comment below. Let me know how you celebrate your big wins. And if you do have a 90-day plan already in place, let me know that. And I will see you on the next one.